Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the read aloud choices for 2025 to 2026 school year. I have a total of 7 books that we plan to read. I'm not sure if we will get through all of them because read alouds really do take us a little bit on the longer side, just because we don't typically do them every single day. I am trying to be more consistent and get better with that. But 2 of our choices are read alouds that go connected with our social studies curriculum. So for a couple units at a time, we will be reading 1 chapter book. And that is why sometimes the read alouds take me long. Like, for example, we've been reading Tolliver's Secret. We're almost done with it. I think right now when this video comes out, we will probably already be done with it. But it's taken me months because I try to read those read alouds when we're doing social studies. So like on the days that we're doing social studies, again, it's worked out very like iffy, honestly, just because it would be a chapter a week. And by the time the next week comes, we've already pretty much forgotten what we read last week. So with the current read aloud that we're doing, Tolliver's Secret, I have just been reading every night to the kids. I think moving forward, I might just do that where I have a daytime read aloud and then a nighttime read aloud. We used to read a lot at nighttime a couple years ago, and then we kind of transitioned out of that because we started, moving and all that. And I think you're probably gonna hear about us moving in my last like 3 or 4 videos, just because there's been so much that has happened that has kind of like altered our homeschool journey, and we're just now settling back into consistency, into a really nice rhythm. But yeah, we used to read at nighttime almost every night, and then we stopped. And then now that we've settled into this house, we are getting back to reading every night. So nighttime reading, like read aloud time as a family, caters more to our like social studies read aloud, and then our daytime read aloud will be our like fun read aloud. With read alouds, I am not so strict with the kids on having to sit down or having to, just like not move or anything like that. We're really relaxed when we do read aloud time. Sometimes I will be just standing up in the kitchen while I'm cooking something, and the kids are like rolling on the floor, climbing on the couch or whatnot. As long as they're listening, I don't have a problem with them moving around. I do not have them do schoolwork when I do read aloud though, because to make sure that they are listening and understanding what I'm reading, I will normally just ask them after I read the chapter. I will ask them a couple questions about what we read, and each one of them will have to tell me something that they remember. Again, I'm not super strict with that. You don't need to remember every single detail of that chapter, but at least something. Because at the end of the book, and we don't do this with every book either, we do it with more like shorter books that I know the kids, by the time we finish the book, they will remember. We'll do like a small book report, and the book reports are very simple. I wish I would have had that with me right now so I can show you an example of what we do. But I had seen this reel on Instagram a couple years ago, and they were book reports inside of envelopes. I'm going to see if I put up a picture here later on while I'm editing. But they would do their book report and then put it into an envelope, and the envelope would be, they would color in. You know what? I'm going to go get it because I need to explain this to you better, and I feel like me just saying it is not going to work. I just have to show you. Give me a second. All right, so we haven't done many of these in a while because we haven't really been doing much read alouds in the last year and a half because of the whole transition. But so I had seen this. They're envelopes, and basically you just glue the envelopes together to make like an accordion or something like that. But I have them draw the cover on their envelope, and then inside is their book report. So this is my 4th graders, and then this is my, well, she did these when she was in kindergarten. But I mean, if you look, this is Pippi Longstocking And this is the book. So you have the book, and she drew the cover, and then she wrote her book report, and her book report is different than my now second grader. I printed these off of, I think it was Teachers Pay Teacher. I'll see if I can find it and link it down below. Well, it's homeschoolcreations.com, but I don't remember if it was Teachers Pay Teachers or I went straight to the website. Don't remember. Either way, I'll see if I can link it down below. But this is basically the book report. We have book title, author, publisher, number of pages, and copyright date. The reason why I picked this, I know this probably seems like a lot for a third grader at the time, now fourth grader, but I want my kids, I'm a lover of books. As you can see, we have a home library. We absolutely love books. So I want my kids to also love books, but I want them to understand each page of the book. So I made sure to grab a book report where she was able to actually look these things up and figure out the anatomy of a book. But then we have like where and when does the story take place? Who are the main characters? A brief summary of the book. And then it says, be sure to tell the beginning, middle, and end of the story. And then 2 new words that you learned from the book, and then write what each word means. And then her book reports look like that, and they will continue to look like that. But then when we read the next book, then she will just get an envelope, draw her picture, and then attach it to this. And then for this was kindergarten. I might switch it up for her now, maybe not just yet. But this was hers. This was also Pippi Longstocking, and hers was just a little bit different. But we also have book title, author, illustrator. She rated this. This book was awesome, okay, or not my favorite. And then we have the characters, who was her favorite character, and then 4 words to describe that character. We have setting, place where the story happens, and then 4 words to describe the setting. And then we have to draw her favorite part, and her favorite part of the story was, and she had to write about it. And so I might keep this for her for now, just because it's a lot less writing. She's only in 2nd grade. So yeah, that's how we do, that's how we do read alouds in our house. So now that you have an idea of how we do read aloud in our house, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the books. I am gonna start with the 2 books that we will be reading that are connected with our social studies curriculum. So the first one we have is Farmer Boy. And each of these books, if you go to like the Notgrass website, or if you have the curriculum, you will see that these books came with the curriculum. So you have the option to get them bundled with your curriculum, buy them separate, or just get them from the library or whatnot. But we got them bundled with our curriculum. So we have like all the books that the curriculum requires. So yeah, the first one is Farmer Boy, and then the second one is Freedom Crossing. And these are from obviously different eras because they go along with the time or the era that we're learning with or learning about in our curriculum. So these are 2 books that we're going to be reading, and I really think that these will be the only ones that we will need to read for the rest of the school year, just because the units, the amount of lessons in each unit, I think it will just take us into the end of the school year, and then the following school year, then we'll obviously read the rest of the books with part 2 of the curriculum. So these are the 2 books. And then we have, these are like our fun books. I will say, yeah, they're just like random books that we picked out that we have been wanting to read and have not gotten to. First one is Charlotte's Web. We have seen the movie over and over and over and over, and we were supposed to read this, kid you not, like 3 or 4 years ago. Never got to it. I think we're at a place where we would be good reading this, just because my kids were younger before and it was just a lot more chaotic than what it is now. So now we have more control over our day, more control of our reading time. So yeah, Charlotte's Web, we should finally be getting to this year. Then we have Because of Winn-Dixie, another one that we've had sitting in our library for years and have not gotten to. But again, I think we should be really good to get to that. I am so sad that we are finishing this series. This is the last book in the series. I have all the books down here. Listen, if you need a good Christian fiction adventure story to read to your kids, buy this book series. There is a total of 9 books, okay? And each book is a different scroll with a different Bible story. And these kids, Peter and Mary, they basically travel back in time and they see the events happening, different events that happen throughout the Bible. But they have a couple days to solve the secret of the scroll, which is like these invisible letters, and they have to figure out what the words are. Once they have the whole scroll figured out, then they zap back into current time. But I really like the way that these books really take scripture, take the Bible, and just make it fun for little ones. So we have very much enjoyed this book series. I will recommend this till the day I'm not here anymore, because this is a really good series. So yeah, book 9, sadly, the final scroll. But we are excited. The kids actually wanted to read this already. I'm like, let's give it a break. Let's read something else, and then we'll get back to this. So this might be the first one we pick up after we're finished with our summer read aloud. Okay, and then for December, I try to always have like one book for December, a shorter one. As you can see, last Christmas, we read The Family Under the Bridge. It was a really nice story. The kids loved it. They had fun with it. But we always try to read something Christmassy in the month of December and something short, because December, we slow down a lot with homeschool. So we don't do a lot of reading, if I'm honest. But yeah, so this one is December Secrets, and we got this one out of the Little Free Library at our community pool. And we saw this and we were like, you know what, Christmas read aloud. But yep, looks like a cute little read aloud, and it's short, which we always look for short read alouds for the month of December. So yeah, these are the books that we will be reading in this school year. Hopefully we will get to all of them. I'm going to try my best to be more consistent and just read whenever we have downtime. We are really working on limiting screen time again, just because we have, like, our screen time has increased drastically. And now we're working on bringing it back down, and we're just focusing more on books and just drawing, journaling. The girls have gotten into junk journaling. Yeah, we've just been trying to find different hobbies to get away from screens, and reading is definitely top priority in our house. So yeah, I'm excited to get through these books with them. Let me know what read alouds, if any, you guys will be reading this school year. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a book stack emoji. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and you find yourself coming back for more videos. And I will see you next week, where we will be talking about my homeschool planner.